Good morning from Riley Photos. Now, Paul's come to see me. He's bought a little toy. I say little. Look at that. Paul, what have you bought?
100 to 400 Fuji.
Wow, 100 to 400 Fuji. Look at it. Take a look. This is a beast. You won't need to go to the gym if you've got one of these. Look at it. Heavy.
Heavy.
You've got a monopod.
Solid.
You've got a monopod. I mean, it's testing, but is it worth it? Oh, the sun's come out. Good job you put the lens hood on. So there it is. This is giving you 35mm equivalent is going to be
150 to 600.
150, 600 mil. And this is an unusual lens in that I'm right in thinking, aren't I, that they think this performs better wide open than closed down.
No need to stop it down, really. No.
Right. What is it stopped down to?
That's a good
5.6,
question.
is it?
It's 5.6 at the 400 end, wide open.
Okay.
So.
And then what is it when you're all the way at 600 mil?
No, it's 5.6 at the
5.6. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about
and 4.5?
And 4.5.
4.5.
Okay. Right. That tinkling noise, by the way, isn't me having a problem with my waterworks. We're standing in front of the pond fountain, so just as a point of fact, I haven't got to there yet. Right, here we go. Let's take some pictures with this this beast. Let's have a look what's on it as well. I'll put the camera down there so you can see. So what we've got a nice little that feels really nice and tactile. That it's got little stops as well. That rings. Can you actually set that up for different functions?
No.
That's just an aperture ring.
Yeah, that's just your aperture ring, which shows on the body.
Okay, so you can't assign that to do something else. No. Yeah, so aperture ring, and then we've got in here we've got.
You can set it to which distance you want it to focus in, so you can shorten it from full to 5 meters to infinity.
Why would you do that? Or just?
Well, it's quicker.
Oh, it's faster.
If you're not, if you're focusing in the distance,
you're
better to put it on the 5 meters to infinity, and it'll be quicker.
Okay. What else you got?
That's for the aperture ring. Yeah. If you want to set it completely on automatic, you just move that to A. Yeah. And that locks it. Okay. And then that'll set its own aperture. And that's the image stabilizer. Okay, and we've got that on, I take it, with a lens of this size. Oh yeah.
Even with the monopod. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a couple of pictures then. Go on, zoom in and take some pictures. So let's have a look at some of Paul's pictures in the garden, and they're sharp. 600 mil in 35mm equivalent. Look at that. Let's zoom in. Boom! That is a lot of detail from a lens of this kind of price. Zoom in again on those flowers, those blue flowers. Wow, really sharp. I'm really impressed at this. I mean, it is a heavy old beast, but look at the results. Look at what you can get, and for wildlife, wouldn't this be spectacular? What are you shooting on? What's the ISO?
I'll tell you in a moment. 1,600.
1,600. We're going up. Good ISO performance though from these Fujis.
Oh yeah.
It's a heavy bit of kit, but I'm thinking the results are going to be worth it. And I'm thinking, you know how many conferences I do? Stuart and I do an awful lot of conferences, and I can't help thinking this would be a great lens for wildlife photographers, for sports photographers, but for conference photographers as well. I mean, you imagine we'll be able to be way back behind the audience at the back of the room and still be able to do nice close-ups of the speakers. I think it'll be ideally suited for that. It isn't a lens that I would want to walk around with all the time. It is a heavy old beast, but is it worth it? Is the image quality worth it?
Sun's gone in now.
Let's just have a little look. That is a good bit of glass. Have we got a filter on there?
No.
Oh, no filter.
No filter.
I've got a video about that. If you haven't seen that, UV filter versus no UV filter, I'll leave it as a film to watch at the end of this. What do you think? Does it make a difference? I always thought it didn't. You obviously think it does, Paul. So, it's an interesting one.
I have used it with a filter. I don't think it makes any difference, to be honest.
Well,
it's a big one.
Shall we have a look at some of the images off this and see what we think? Here's a few images now at different magnifications from around the garden. Now we start off with the water fountain we heard all the way through the film. Let's zoom in a little bit. Whoa, wow, that's a big difference. We're going to go even more. Wow, what a magnification. That's really quite close in as well. That pine tree, fir tree, whatever you call them there. Whoa, that is sharp, isn't it? It's really, really sharp. I'm impressed. That little rose just sprouting out there. Let's zoom in onto the 400mm, which of course is an effective 600mm in full frame equivalent, and same as those little trees there. Look at that. Didn't even notice that little twig there on the original. The blossom on the trees. Zoom in. This would be great for wildlife photography, wouldn't it? You'd be getting stuff that you can't see with the naked eye, and you don't want to see that. That's me, yours truly. And zoom in. Wow, let's go all the way. 400mm. Boom, look how sharp it is. You can see all the dust on my glasses. So, 100 to 400mm Fuji. Small, it's not. Compact, it's not. Lightweight, it's not. Don't go traveling with this lens. But what it is incredibly well made and incredibly sharp. I was very, very impressed. Having tried the Sony RX10 Mark IV with its 600mm equivalent, 35mm equivalent lens on APS, I was really impressed with that. But this is better. The images, I think, are better from this camera. But of course, that comes at a cost. It's bigger, it's more unwieldy. But is it worth it? Well, only you can decide. If you go in image quality, yeah, it's this lens all the time. But of course, the Sony's built into that little bridge camera. It's all compact and lightweight. Oh, it's horses for courses, isn't it? It's what works for you. But if you're looking for quality magnification, if you're looking to get into maybe wildlife photography, this is a fantastic lens at the price. I think the price of this has come right down. You can pick these up really at great value for money. So all in all, I think this is a great lens, very sharp, and I'm going to put it in the bag. I am going to buy this and I'm going to put it in the bag for conferences, because it's going to allow me to get really, really close in on the speakers without having to be dancing around in front of the delegates on the front row. Now, I mentioned that we didn't have a filter on it, and Paul hadn't got a filter on this lens, and that's a debate with photographers. They've been talking for years about filters and whether you should protect your investment by putting a filter on, and that means if it rains or gets dusty, you've only got to clean the filter. You're not worrying about scratching the element, all that kind of stuff. Other people say, hang on a minute, why buy this lens because it is so good and crisp and then put a filter on the front and ruin its great capabilities? But does it ruin the great capabilities? That's the thing. That's the question. And that's why I decided to find out for sure whether there was any difference when you put a UV filter on a lens or not. So I did a test, and here it is. You can click on this link and find out. Answer the question for once and for all. Should you put a UV filter on?